Welcome to the final week of Mind Over Slammer, a brand new national slam, funded kindly by the Arts Council, brought to you by Mind Over Matter Arts CIC. Most of you in here, I think, know who Mind Over Matter are, but we champion conversation around mental health through poetry, through hip-hop, in partnership with Poetry Prescribed, and we do that. We prescribe poetry in the form of workshops. A few of you in here have been to the slam workshops that we've been running, and a few of you are actually slamming that have been at the workshops as well, so it's going to be great to see how those went. I promise this is the longest that I'm going to talk in between slamming, but I've got to make sure that I get all of this out. Tonight, we've got our resident psychologist, Anna Sinsky, in the room. Anna, can you stand up so everyone can actually see you? Make some noise for Anna, please. I want to give just an overall trigger warning before we get into slam. I don't know the content of these poems or what it's going to be, but what I do know is often people come here and pull the hearts out about topics that can be triggering. Anna is here if anyone wants to talk to her. Also, for our slammers, it's incredibly anxiety-inducing getting up on this stage. It can be really, really nerve-wracking. So we're doing our best just to support you as best as we can. If anyone does feel that they need any additional support or help, Anna is offering some complimentary sessions for our slammers. So if you need that, then please go and find her today or reach out to us after the slam. Okay, so let's talk about the rules for tonight. Oh gosh, imagine what it's going to be like when you get on this stage. So here's what's going to happen. Tonight's slam will unfold in 3 rounds of poetry. In round 1, all 12 slammers will perform. Round 2, the top scoring 6 will come back to the stage. And then from those 6, we'll go down to our 3 finalists who will come back up. The winner of tonight's slam, along with the first runner-up, will go to our Grand Slam finale, which will be held at an incredible venue in the West End. We'll be announcing that next week. First place slammer in that grand finale will take £1,000 home with them. And not bad. I wanted a 5K prize fund, but apparently I've got to just work towards that. It's coming, don't worry, guys. Second place will be £500 and third place will be £300. And obviously you'll have bragging rights as well. Each poet that comes up here will have a maximum of 3 minutes on the mic to perform a single poem of their own creation. You'll be given 10 seconds grace, but after you exceed that, for every 10 seconds, 0.5 will be deducted from your overall score. And I don't know if you've seen the lineup tonight, but the standard of poetry that's about to hit this stage is crazy. So, slammers, keep to your time. You really can't afford to lose that 0.5. We'll have 5 judges tonight. The way that we've got our judges scoring, we keep only 3 of the scores. So the lowest score and the highest score will be removed to account for bias. And then we will add up those 3 middle scores and each poet will get a score out of 30. One of the things that I always hated as a slammer myself is being at a slam and having judges hold up the points and the scores afterwards. It's awkward as hell. The judges sometimes get it because if they give a low score, the audience start booing them, or if they disagree, it's uncomfortable. But for the slammers as well, you end up sitting there kind of adding up the marks as you go along and you're focusing on the points and not on the poetry. So scores will not be announced tonight. It is a competition, and the hope is that competition drives everyone that comes up here to do their absolute best and give you the best performance of their life, but to not focus on the points. What else? Okay, so audience, your job. This is really important. As I said, it's pretty anxiety-inducing coming up here. It's a big stage, and there's a lot of you out there. So what do we do when we hear something that we like? I mean, you could do that. Please, no gunshots and nothing too loud. But yeah, we could do some clicks. If you really like something, we can have maybe a slightly quieter oi oi, Samuel King. But yeah, let them know if you like something. Let them know that you appreciate it. Don't be scared to show appreciation for the poets that come up on this stage. Slammers, you'll be called up because of the access to the stage tonight, and I don't want any of you having any like uncomfortable or embarrassing stage entries and tripping. We'll have 3 rounds of 4 poets. Bexy Bex will escort you backstage to the stage door. and just make sure that you can get up here seamlessly rather than having that, awkwardness for the stage. You will know your running order. Bexy will let you know as you come up, and I'll let you know when you're on deck. That means you're next, just so you're not sitting there thinking, oh my God, am I next? When am I going? So you'll know. I think that's kind of about it before we start. So Yvette G. Santana, you are on deck. If Yvette, Arcadia, Just Ori, and Takunda could make their way backstage if they haven't already, we will start shortly. But is it okay if I warm the mic up for you? So we've got Samuel King headlining tonight. So it's only right that I share a piece that I wrote based on a line from one of Samuel King's poems. Yeah, he has a line in a poem about writer's block. So I said, fuck writer's block. I live on writer's block. Lock, stock, and 2 smoking ballpoints. My pen is a Glock. Bullet bars that shoot past Mars. My ink is a lot. Like, stop, drop, shut 'em down, open up shop. Oh, no, that's how tough writers roll. Props to hip hop, because thanks to the culture, I write around the clock. Cream of the crop. If I cook, you'd a chop. I got this poetry shit on lock, so fuck writer's block. I said I live on writer's block. These spoken streets aligned with sages. My neighbors are the greatest, innovative and creative. This community is sacred. Highly rated for a reason. I swear I'm never leaving. I'm keeping the keys to my freedom. I stay streaming dreams into real life scenes. My crown is lit with aura green, but don't call me queen. My line holds more power than a construct. My ink is my blood, and on life, it could never get stuck. Scrawling in cursive, I stay immersed in verse, dedicated to word. I'm married to poetry, for better or worse. Best believe I put in the work, so whether or not you rate me, I know exactly what I'm worth. That's why occasionally you'll catch me moving brazenly. I never cease to amaze me. Sometimes amazing knows amazing is amazing. I stay in training daily. My gains are crazy. Raising bars and dropping weight, my lane is light speed. I'm talking shooting stars and lightning, striking like it's Marvel and I'm fighting Infinity Wars. Warrior with my craft, rebel with a cause. My pen is a sword pulled from stone. I was a long way from home, had to dig deep past the bones to the core, had to explore the darkest of places, travel lonely roads and savage streets, pray on bended knee to my maker to forgive my mistakes and take me to a higher place. I prayed for change, asked her to show me the way back to myself. I received divine guidance whilst crying rivers into broken hopes. I was up against the ropes at the mercy of my shadow. It was hard to let pain go, but I came out smiling. I'm not lying, kin. I've laughed in the face of danger, heard ancestors whisper incantations whilst in deep meditation, questioning my place, and now my cursive translates the shape of my soul into sacred scrolls that one day my descendants will hold. Truth be told, I'm in this for more than awards and applause. I'm here to open doors. Deep in my purpose, I set pace and pause. My thoughts move in poetic pathways. My DNA is loaded with multiversal tales that I retell in real time. I've been the realist from time. I landed before the dawn, left after sunset and returned on high tides. You can call me my name precedes me, deep the meaning. Sunday born, but on this plane I came on the Sabbath. I carried the blood of both saint and savage, healer and destroyer. I've stood at the gates of heaven and hell. That's why the well in which my quill sits is so rich. I'm quick to scribe. Live or die. This life means death, and that death means life. My words are infinite. My page is the sky with no limits. My rhymes are filled with reason, no games and no gimmicks. It is what it is till it isn't. I am who I am till I'm not. I've always been exactly who I'm meant to be. No entity that sends for me shall succeed. My weapon is a sea of speech, no hide and seek. Find me on the shore, shelling, never selling this soul. My words are worth more than gold. I am the story my ancestors told. Thank you very much. Thank you, London. So, Are we ready to get into this slam? Please make some noise for our first slammer, Yvette G. Santana.
Systematic oppression does not only live within the paychecks that call checkmate from state to state, it lives side by side as our nation divides rich and poor, opening hell's door rights on earth, unearthing decisions tied to trees linked to bullet wounds, consuming the precision of evil contusions rooted in the same trees they used to hang us, while they whipped us, while they stripped us, while they brainwashed us of our culture, while they turned blood, sweat, tears, and fears into bullet wounds, wounding faded sound tunes of our ancestors, burying our ancestors. Rest in peace to our ancestors. They would never reach their levels of peace. Coincidentally, now the government wonders why we use our peace to create levels of peace within our streets, wondering why we don't feel protected when we see white cops screaming restoration for NYPD. I'm angry. I'm disgusted. Pieces of our people float under the surface. Pieces of our people float under the surface. Pieces of our people float under the surface. Yet the pieces of our people are the pieces they refuse to resurface. Evidence distorted. Government systems rigged to favor every white face that savors the devil's place. Giving tickets to account for every black or brown face times 8. Order to write off convictions of those we pray to come home today. Hoping the tears shed will call home to saving grace. So we march. We protest out of frustration and revenged hate. But how dare they blame us for revolting against a country they stole from us in the first place? While they forced restraints, were we supposed to just lie down and stay in our place? And remember, stay calm, don't resist, and never reach for your candy if it resembles a black iron fist. Forcing a cycle of a never-ending race between races. Knowing that no matter how hard we fight to proclaim a white face to win first place in every state that holds judicial face and power. Knowing the media only portrays was in favor of the cowards, it's an insult to our intelligence. Pero yo soy taína y no soy estúpida. Mis antepasados hablan para mí, conveying that God has a funny way of assuring the dish of pain will circle back into their seeds. Karma growing through family trees with leaves of green. Trust me, money isn't what it seems. Two sides of the same coin, currency flipped, so they tricked us into believing there would be change. Instead, we remain, and while we wait, we count all the names of angels that have fallen. We count all the shells from guns that propelled into their hearts that leak lines of blood while they seeked help from others. While they called out for their mothers, we called out to our Father in heaven. We called out to each other, using the loaded weights on each of our shoulders and turning them into a neck full of lace metals rather than nooses connected to boulders. We fight with our words, using art as steps forward, turning rope ties into business neckties that we loosen slowly, turning funerals into Sunday church meetings. We hold meetings for our next revolution, evolution. We, the people, are the solution.
Give it up one more time for Yvette. Just Ori is on deck, but come into the stage right now. Make some noise for Arcadia.
Let me tell you why I believe in magic. But first, the way this works is I weigh my worth. Till I hate my words and I pray my earth is a place I learn. If I spray my germs in a place like birth, then I may get hurt by a wayward curse. I don't think I've been telling my story right. It's been a bit of a gory ride keeping these thoughts inside, but they're all yours tonight. Each word I say is a picture for you to embrace. And the blood that runs in my veins is actually red ink. That's why they call it an artery. I used to bleed this stuff out until it became music. A bruised nuisance with an elusive conclusion mutes his movement into one hell of an illusion. It's called intrusion. I've been trying to lose this obtuse abuse because it's no longer a cute frame of mind to be in. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? If you think ghosts don't exist, then what's with being so possessive? Demonic dreams scream my name on repeat. You wouldn't believe what I had to complete just to take my seat from that beast. Danger became comfortable, humbled me till I thought it was light work. I broke into the pipeworks of my own tapestry. I'm glad to be actually damaging the damage in me. Calamity counterbalances vanity. Savagery sanitizes the sanity. Mirrors aren't so attractive anymore. I'm only interested in reflecting the real me, but ironically, people don't want to see that. Let me see if you can keep intact everything that I have while you're sitting there staring at me looking like an attractive relapse. These maps I've been given aren't guidance anymore, they're a wider perspective. I war with malevolent elements like I fight Poseidon for breakfast. Waves crash and crest in sunsets whilst the devil wets his tongue with these subjects. You can't have one without the other. Avoidance is my attachment freestyle. All the while I spray my serotonin just so I can lock these ghosts in, which I'm hoping will keep spirits up. No loved one can tell me about me anymore. It gets to a point where you do so much self-work, they have to evaluate their self-worth. But negativity is addictive. The darkness of a black hole is actually quite inviting, providing that it looks familiar. My ADHD tendencies tend to be attempting to get the better of me, but I've learned how to make them make me a better me. They didn't want to see me dig down into the dark depths of myself, because it turns out that's where they dwell as well. If I build a negative rhyme scheme about my world, just know that I was raised under a spell. And that's why I believe in magic. Thank you.
Make some noise for Arcadia! Wow. So on deck is Takunda, but coming to the stage right now, make some noise for Just Ori!
The premise to this piece is isolation, loneliness, the essence of alone. 5 letters, A-L-O-N-E, 2 P's in a pod with their backs to each other. Uni, sociality and community were all the A for allure. I was sure I would leave for my new home and be beat in my new home, just surrounded by blacks and yellows. I thought all my friends would be ACS. I thought I'd get halls, picking my fair share of fish in sea, but you see I got a house, and these blacks and browns made me feel anxious, and I was already a year behind. I wasn't standing out, but I wasn't fitting in. I was a king without a queen, ruling the in-between. I was forever the 7, the 8, 9. Infinitely out of the loop, 7, 8, 9. Never mind, I came here in my thoughts, so I never mind, I don't feel like myself. 2 P's on a pod with their backs to each other. I was L for longing for love because I've been finding it hard to love myself, but you'll always see me smiling. My friends will tell you, I make you laugh, show them teeth and close them eye whites. My friends are, so I suppose I white. Black people questioning my actions like, white. Social outcast, outcasting nets for love in the sea ahead of me. But in my mind it's dark, so I can't see where I'm heading, G. 2 P's on a pod with their backs to each other. I quit my job to come here, now I'm N for not good with money. Got that wrong. I came here on top, then I started missing classes and alarms, and O for oh shit, I'm late again. Maybe I should get out of bed, but I won't again. I'll be here till 4 p.m. because I can't bear to wake again. I just need me one more minute of dream again because I hate it here. I hate it home. Memoirs of a lonely fellow who didn't want to be here or there. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be anywhere. 2 P's on a pod with their backs to each other. I quit my job to come here. Now I'm N for not good with money. Never picking up when the 033, 084, no caller ID calls. Can't count how many times I've been over my overdraft. Dunya got me thinking these things are only there to trap you. I can't rely on home because home is an absent father. And if I'm being honest, self-dependency is what I'd rather. And I really wish I could be a bigger brother, a better one to my little sister. Buy her that bike she needs. Bring her down once a month like I promised. Breaking promises more than I'm breaking notes, so I guess nothing will ever change. Sometimes I just want to go back. 2 P's on a pod with their backs to each other. Forever wonder what it'd be like if you weren't feeling these things, if you weren't so anxious so often, forever in this bad mood. If you weren't too sad to think, too down to get up, what would life be like if you weren't really a socially rejected socialite, if you actually went to your socials, if you could feel less and do more, if you could be with yourself, never by yourself, if you could smile genuinely and mean it in the club, nigga, I ain't got no worries. If you weren't jealous of everyone because every last one of them seemed to be every bit happier than you. The premise to this piece is isolation, loneliness, the essence of alone. 5 letters, all 5, A-L-O-N-E. I was feeling these things, but really my words are only surface scratching, and I felt like I couldn't tell anyone because no one could even begin to understand. But you see, I had a best friend, and after years I found out she was feeling them too in her own way. Ironically, she was the air above my sea. We were joined at the hip, never not talking to one another. We were just 2 P's in a pod with our backs to each other.
Make some noise for Just Ori! I've got to say, so far, so good on this slam. Every city we've been to has been wild, but obviously it's home team now and I'm in London, so I'm really, really enjoying what we're seeing tonight. But anyway, are you ready for our next slammer? Please welcome Takunda to the stage.
Tinotenda, tinotenda, tinotenda. When a child is born, its body arrives first, followed by the sounds of its cries. So if a body is always to arrive before the voice it belongs to, what is it our skin has already whispered into the ears of strangers before we've had a chance to speak for ourselves? Women who look like my mother are nothing if not foreign. Men who look like my father are nothing if not violent. We have all seen day turn to night, and it is safe to say that blackness enters the room with no sound. So where did we hear these rumors that turn street corners into high school corridors? Patrolling sirens whisper about us here, spilling secrets and bloodshed into the neighborhoods we thought we were safe in, into the homes we thought peace could be found in. You cannot choose to be colorblind, claim to wipe this earth empty and destitute of color. Don't we know sound cannot travel within a vacuum? So how can you claim to hear me if you refuse to see me first? I am black. You can claim to be colorblind, and I am still black. Mashona, my people, believe that gratitude is not only to be spoken, but it is to be acted. That is to say, in giving thanks, I will always show you before I tell you. It is always body, then voice. Body, then voice. Tinotenda, tinotenda, tinotenda. The body is a vessel through which I am always giving thanks. This body always comes in peace. This body is a carving of everything that we come from and everything that we belong to today. I hope that you will hear me. But dear God, do I pray that you will see me first?
Give it up for Takunda. Okay, so Articulate, you are on deck, but coming to the stage right now is Mathago. Make some noise.
Hell is 3 a.m. on a Tuesday morning 4 years later. Heaven is a bedsheet wrapped around a curled up shape shaking. I am hyperventilating in my room again, encased in stone or clay or something that happened years ago and is still stuck in my brain, still hands around my throat, and I am choking, gasping, grasping at the inhale, aching, anything to catch a breath. When it gets like this, I just want to forget. Go fishing for the bottom of a bottle again, 6 months sober, still kicking myself in the shins, but my therapist says she has some breathing techniques I might find helpful. Take deep breaths when I am breathless. Count to 7 while suffocating, then exhale, lungs out in the bathroom, coughing up bile and sadness, stand up, stagger around like a sick thing. I am exhausted, and memories are so vivid in the mornings. Before the sun comes up, catch yourself, race the door now to the breaking, breathe out, lean in, it's all empty. Forget the sting, forget about the fat fingers on him, forget about the teeth and tongues and skin, forget about the drugs and the spit, forget about the drunks and the fists, forget about the way you felt up against that wall, forget about hands in places hands had no right to be a tool, forget about his face, forget about rage, forget about hate, forget about the taste of sweat and urine, forget about the sounds of men laughing, forget about the bathroom floor. Forget about this, forget about more, forget leaving alone and shaking, forget about sleeping, forget about dreaming, forget about waking cold and screaming, forget dead eyes every morning in the mirror, forget the haunting, forget about the bruises and the shiver for days, forget the shake and quiver, forget the tremble and the stagger, hands tremor, reach for balance, feet unsteady now for weeks, forget the bedroom dirty sheets, forget the bathroom hollow cheeks, empty veins, sallow skin, forget the half year lost to him, forget the winter, forget the spring, forget rain soaked, forget chill wind, forget jaws clenched, knuckles tightening, forget mornings creeping in, forget that sightless ceiling stare, Forget that cracked map plaster. Forget those days spent steeped in stagnant air. Forget the shadows pooling in the corners, coalescing formless. Forget their glares. Forget every voiceless hour, tongue wrapped around a stammer. Forget crying in the shower. Forget the sickness after. Forget the listless glisten vision spinning, sitting, dripping, spitting out the sour. Forget hunger. Forget nausea. Forget vomit in the water. Forget bile clinging to your teeth like a mother's legs and a frightened daughter. Forget the little things that linger, like how you can't stand next to men, like all the sounds that make you curl up, how every night it plays again, how every night it plays again, how every night it plays again, and breathe out, lean in. It's all empty, forget the sting, forget about the it's all empty, forget about the hands on him.
Make some noise one more time for Mathago. I am so glad I'm hosting and not judging. On deck is Katie, but coming to the stage right now, make some noise for Articulate.
When did we start watching stories instead of listening to them? Do you give your phone the same attention that you're giving to your friends? Because suicide is on the rise, like we're jumping on a trend. We're so connected on the socials, but so socially inept. This is a direct message. 1 every 40 seconds. How many more will have to die by the time that we address it? Another timeline cut short morphs into the percentage, so scared to overshare while being driven by excess. It's weird. We fear what's beneath all the pretending. Life looks idealized, so now we try and blend in. That's show homes and Benzes. 10K at the dentist. This fake smile epidemic goes beyond the turkey teeth. I see that we've got holes in our system. Our apathy makes cavities a permanent fixture. Let's be real. There's always two sides to the picture, because inside and online are looking quite different, like they just got off a flight from a clinic in Izmir. Is mere humanity too much to ask? Why are heart-to-hearts hard? I'll pass and double that, but spend our days heart in a page. I'd say that's double-tapped, real facts. And when I recap my month, I ain't posting pics. I'm sharing trauma dumps. Hear your morning shit and they start getting flushed or bored a bit before they're in a rush. It's just snapping chats in half always made me feel a bit off. Like TikTok, sounds like algorithm and blues we switch off as we dance to our community's tune, and I assume that's why men are deemed weak if they speak to their guys when the real live streams are pouring out of their eyes and the self-help guides. Yeah, they've already read it. Can't do anything else for them. Forced to choose a post-mortem over feeling indebted. I get it. Because being stuck in the dark web's a humbling place. People ask me what's up, not sad, I'm okay when there's piles of dirty tumblers all over my space. Discord's the only thing that I can pull out of my brain, and word down the vine is I ain't washed for 5 days. It takes all of 6 seconds to call and just check in. Don't reach out for impressions. How we showing pecs and breasts but can't get off what's on our chests. Avert our eyes any time that our minds become undressed. It's like we're blind to the reflection. And I question why the gram was the full measure of my worth. Have you got fam or only fans use your name and where you're at, but they can't handle at your worst? It hurts. Because there's been times I was train spotting at the station, but these platforms don't tell you to mind the gaps in communication. You see, silence often calls for the most consideration. Don't book it. Just face it. We can't stay complacent. It's damaging. Like how an X limits your character. The problem's getting bigger than our circle and our avatars. Pandora's box, it can't be camouflaged in hopes that it'll get betterer. So if you're triggered by this bulletin, please don't shoot the messenger. It's we who hold the answer. Because this cancer's been living in our cells, spread by certain influenzas. No surprise that we're not well. It's mad. Can we just have a chat without the GPT? Pouring us and pouring cups of the PGT. It's a must-lost touch behind these teeny screens. And so I plead that we defeat this spiral. Let's share, take off the masks and let the care go viral.
Give it up one more time for Articulate. But please give a very warm welcome to Katie coming to the stage.
As I stand before you, microphone in hand, suspend your disbelief and imagine if you can that I'm no longer Katie, I'm who you call the man. My job is simple. I control the crowd. I take your sense of purpose and I slowly grind it down. You know when you're a child and the light is in your eyes and you believe in Santa, sweet dreams with lullabies? What I do is take that hope and crush it down so small. And when you say you feel hopeless, I'll take no blame at all. I'll get the world to tell you that the problem is all you, that your depression and your hurt is caused by something that you do. It's all a sleight of hand, though, a trickery of the light. You'll never thrive here, I just let you think you might. I'll give you chances to win your hope back, but like a carrot on a stick, you'll chase and always lack. Don't think that I'm archaic. I change with the times. When there was no more land for me to mine, I colonized your mind. You don't even notice how many times when you look down at your phone, I tell you the things that I want you to own. Look down and pay attention to it and not to me. Keep on wanting what they have. Keep on judging what you see. Comparison's the thief of joy, but theft is not deadly. I've got your heads bowed and you'll never be free. Now, there are still some who see my ruse. Barry likes to research. He doesn't believe the news. He searches, and when he does, he finds proof of my existence I mistakenly left behind. My mistakes become his focus. He knows that I exist, and steeped in lots of fiction are the facts my cleanup missed. Now, Barry's saying things that have some truth within them. He's saying them to his friends, and his friends believe him. He's telling social media his following is growing. I have to parry Barry without Barry knowing. Here's a little secret, my favorite counter move. No one will believe you when you look like a fool. I'll give him a tinfoil hat and the chance to speak out. Now Barry's saying truthful things that no one cares about. Barry speaks in earnest. Barry tells you gladly. When Barry speaks, Barry sees your eyes glaze over badly. Barry barely cares now. His stream becomes the main, and you're all merrily rowing your boat down my stream again. I know what you're thinking. There's no way the man exists. It's a coincidence at most. You think you would notice. You think you will. You won't. In this circus we call Earth, it's true, I'm nothing but a ghost. Now you can see me, and now you don't.
Give some love to Katie. Now, please give a warm welcome to Eleanor May Blackburn coming to the stage.
Despite first appearances, what are those? I'm disabled, labelled mentally problematic, neurodivergent, queer, and while we're at it, labels are useful. Labels are fun. Labels validate and affirm us, perhaps make us feel we belong. But are labels for us, or are labels for the collective you? They're inflexible, limiting, and just one person's point of view. On the topic of labels, I have queer imposter syndrome too. I'm a rainbow imposter. Wit fucking woo. I've never had a girlfriend or sex with a girl, and I have a boyfriend I like to screw, but I'm 99% sure I'm bi. And sure, the scale of this revelation is kind of new because I was 25 years young when I realized I was queer and here. And suddenly I'm all queer and gay and here to stay, but I have a confession, a suspicion, a question. Well, a few. To try and keep my manic depression at bay. Who am I kidding? That's a real here to stay. Should I be allowed to take up space in queer spaces? I'm embarrassed. Not by my queerness, but by my not queer enoughness. Am I gay enough? Am I bisexual enough? Will I ever be with a woman? What if I really want to and can't because I'm happy in my straight relationship? How gay is gay enough? Is there such a thing as too gay? Am I a liar? Am I allowed to be part of this community in my cisgender heteronormative relationship? Am I only gay when it suits? When does it suit? Do I need to wear a suit? Okay, buy in a suit as we speak. I want to be Eric. I want to be Miley. I really, really, really want to be Miriam Margolyes. But I'm pretty sure it took them a while to bear the kind of ownership I seek. But never have I felt as seen and heard as the night before my birthday this year, when everywhere I looked there was colour and happiness. And I fell off the stage because, okay, I'm unsteady on my feet. And I was met by hands picking me up, kind and discreet, no questions asked except, "Are you bi?" at the door. To which I replied a sheepish, "Yeah." And the beautiful girl smiled and said, "You're going to love it here." And I absolutely fucking did. I've never felt safer, in fact. That's the kind of love muscle I'm pining for.
Make some noise one more time. Okay, so Rochette, you are on deck, but coming to the stage right now, please welcome Tiffany.
Hi, nice to meet you. Sorry, I'm a bit of a burden, but I come bearing gifts. A merry-go-round for all the horsing around I've forced into a joy homebound. Money. For your inconvenience, of course. I'm sorry, I had to pay the rebels to get here first. And myself. The demonstration of your inconvenience. Dear Prime Minister, I didn't travel on a boat here. In fact, I got the luxury package of a 17-year stay with my grandmother, a bed, an education, and ambition. And no, I don't need the ocean to hug me because your land is doing a great job at doing that for me. Chaining me with polluted energy nonetheless. I always manage to flock right back to the sea. I almost feel the ancestors pulling at me to plead that I have a duty of safety quite like you. So, before we get started, I just wanted to inform you that there was a boat that capsized and killed 27. 4 children in the midst. Devastating to hear, isn't it? Quite heartbreaking, really. But you see, pain kind of gets numb to hear after a while, as you may know. So it was just really sad because the oceans hugged them with arms wide open, elevated their statuses from migrants to mighty, granted the ancestors to those behind them. Maybe they can finally sit on a high horse like you do. I don't make this personal. I really don't mean to. I understand you're just a yes man, but whoever needs to take this personal, I do ask. If you create instabilities, you should be ready to expect the liabilities, right? That's what ripping countries of their soils will do, like stress ripping hair from your scalp. It can bulge you. I really think I'm finally getting closer to understanding why you find the need to turn away refugees, that refugees you've given to their countries. They remind you that darkness can also lie in your family. And no one likes that uncomfortable feeling of an inconvenience that comes from living a double life. So I guess what I do ask is that you don't forget you too travel the seas to get what you want. Matter of fact, were you not in that boat with them? Thank you.
One more time for Tiffany. Okay, so on deck we have Melody Marsh, but make some noise for Rochette coming to the stage.
Here's an open letter from me to you. I'm sorry for turning to the last resort. I was afraid of my words getting lost between your pride and the need to be defensive, as if my intention isn't to mend this. I just don't want the message lost. And though I want you to hear it the most, I feel the need to address it to someone else's posts, but to my mother, I love you. I just have some things I'd like to get off my chest, you know, maybe a thing or two. Please tell me how to get through to you, because it seems like every right thing I do is two wrongs to you. With all due respect, you are my mother, I love you, but you can be wrong too. Like, sometimes you really got me here thinking, try no more. There are some things you do that make me pause and ponder, whoa, this can't be true. Is it me and you, or me versus you? Sometimes I can't be sure, because the deepest wounds and cuts I hold were caused by you. I love you, but I love me too. I just hope you don't get me wrong. I'm trying to find the right words to express my thoughts, because I know how much you care about other people's views, sometimes, sadly, even more than your own. It's been in my head so long, and my heart longer. I know they said what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but I can't afford to be feeling this way forever. Somewhat I wish I could hold on a little longer, better yet had solved it a little sooner, but it's been years now. I've forgiven over and over a while now, ignoring facts that came at me like stabs and engraven in my heart now. I just feel at some point we've got to take a bow. Even having said that, I still don't like seeing you frown. I'm still being told to just be calm, and I still won't have anyone messing up your crown. I'm still just your child, so in my sorrows, I drown.
One more time for Rashette. Okay, so on deck is our final slammer, Cobby, but coming to the stage now is Melody Marsh. Make some noise, London.
I lived this experience through more than 5 senses, and this doesn't need to make sense to you. I sense far more than the physical, as I feel far more than what's literal. Yeah, you can call me sensitive. You may see this as a negative if you move senseless, but I have lived the positives of being conscious. I may speak through different tenses, but do not stay tense. I practice presence. I weave words to manifest my path, use futures past. Jump timelines to see my mistakes. Meditation takes me to higher states. I astral project and see above 3D. My lucidity takes me to places some can't even see in their dreams. And I'm not being mean or calling them average. But statistically, I am rare. Now, whilst we're on numbers, let's fall back in age, back to the days where I felt alienated, where I learnt to hide so as not to gain more attention. See, bullies love a reason to stunt your ascension, but whilst they stunt in circles, I spiral up. They seek power by stealing it, whilst I power up. Source my own strength through the way I choose to live, whilst they project their hate. I'll take that, alchemize it, and turn it as love on their plate. Knowledge may be power, but mastery is a tool. I'll master myself so as not to fool to fools. I'm learning that I can stand in my truth and still stay humble. I still stumble, but watch the lessons unfold and always ask, how do you expect to grow from regurgitating your past? Ruminating on thoughts like cows chew grass, so what you spit out comes straight from your ass instead of from the horse's mouth. I pass through dimensions and return in one piece. I find peace in exploring eternity. I'm learning not to fear death. I've seen far too much to know that it is the end. I've been to places some minds can only call a myth, and I'm finally learning how to sit with it. Root to the ground whilst keeping my crown high towards the heavens. Channeling source is the biggest blessing, and we've all got the ability to listen. As at the end of the day, I know we're one in the same, but trust me, I didn't come here to remain. I'm here to elevate and transcend this plane.
Give it up one more time for Melody. Are you ready for our final slammer? Our final slammer for round one goes by the name of Cobby. Please make them welcome to the stage.
Perspicacious. I'm so perspicacious, a lie that word's gracious. Yeah, I speak slang, but you're shocked I'm loquacious. I saw that. I'm perspicacious. You see dreadlocks and earrings, but I do things. I dream things. But because of what he thinks and what she thinks, it's harder for me to achieve things. I peep this and I still win. I'm perspicacious. You see, I love my complexion. But in my recollection, I was reduced to a monolith and then my vocal inflection, so I changed their perception. I've been tapped in since conception. I'm perspicacious. When I say I'm a proud Ashanti, they're shocked back home I live in a mansion and not a shanty. They see how negative people can be. That's why I brush if they ask if I got a plan B. It's at a surface level, they understand me. I overstand this family. I'm perspicacious. I have about 12 personas I use accordingly. Sometimes I'm the party starter. Sometimes people border me. When I sense a taker, I make sure they think there's nothing more to me. I'm a shapeshifter, you see. I'm perspicacious. But in this life, people will leech off your vitality. So you must have the perspicacity to sniff out the audacity of people saying they love you, but taken from you gradually. I see it from a mile away, so naturally, I'm perspicacious. Thank you.
Make some noise for Cobby and each and every one of our round one slammers. I can confirm that it was a very close round, but are you ready to hear who our round two slammers are? Okay, in no particular order. Can I get like a drum roll? Can I get like a... Our round two slammers are Melody, Cobby, Tiffany, Mathago, Takunda, and Arcadia. Make some noise for the round two slammers. Can I get some noise for our DJ tonight as well, if you've been enjoying the music? DJ Snuff One. So here's what we're going to do while our round two slammers just kind of recalibrate and prepare to come on stage. I have been working with a poet who goes by the name of Fisky for some years now. And he has worked tirelessly to put this slam together. Certain times I'm busy, I'm like, sorry, I can't talk to you later. It'll be 2 a.m. and we'll be on the phone, like, hashing out slam stuff. So yeah, I want to invite him to the stage just to warm up the mic for the round two poets and share something with you, if that's okay. Please make some noise for Fisky!
Brixton, how are we doing? Are you enjoying yourselves tonight? This slam's been a lot of fun, travelling the country, and but it's good to be back in Brixton where we belong. So, are you having fun tonight? Are you enjoying yourselves, yeah? Good stuff. Right, I'm going to shut up and do a poem. This is called Conversations with a Ghost. Lived 3 lives, meaning 2 of me died. Future and past me's don't exist, meaning presently I'm present me. Presuming the present presents nothing of worth, so the presence of past me's present a future only capable of existing in the past. Rarely present, in a never-ending present perfect tense. Presently I'm perfectly tense. Precedent set in stone leaves little room to grow, ergo ego leaves an air of arrogance dimming your glow. No time for goodbyes, even less time for lies. Wrong or right, I'm leaving it all behind. If you're angry at the past or new me, I'm in my 40s, so either way, you're angry at the old me. Let it go. Let me go. Roots grounded in toxic soil, unable to grow since 15 years old. Demons, I've seen some. Trapped in nightmares, lucid dreams, I need one. If heaven's salvation, death must be freedom. There has to be a heaven. From my content, you'll tell. I've seen the contents of hell. Rather be here than relive those years. I'm content as hell. When I write, I feel everything except tense. Defend myself from myself, past, present, future, but no acceptance. When things make no sense, someone's lying. I don't react, go quiet, fade away, no pre or forewarned, become an imprint of memories on these 4 walls. We can't redecorate trauma. I try painting over it all. Thoughts out of hand, head buried in the sand. It's funny, I need to sit with this shit to know where I stand. My writing's sporadic. Between each intermittent piece, I wonder if life's an intermission between peace. If the shepherd's addiction is depression the sheep, The suppression is deep. That's why expression is key. Why would I debate whether poetry is therapy when poetry is used in therapy? The clue's in the line. Neither one thing, so what you mean, be clear and define. When therapy wasn't there and didn't care, poetry broke down my breakdown and created a platform that took off and made me face up to land it face down. Therapy didn't. Or did it? It's not a yes or no answer. It depends what you're going through. Poetry is the only thing that got me through 20 years of grief and addiction. Besides numbing myself with drugs, poetry is the only thing that took the fucking sadness away just for a minute or two. Society told me man up. Therapy said my situation wasn't bad enough. I didn't earn enough. Told me get fucked. So I did. I may have misinterpreted. But that's the danger of the 90s, thinking it's terribly apt, leaving a grieving 16-year-old to his own devices. Nowadays, you can find a therapy app on 16-year-old devices. I don't mean to be divisive, but all this grief changed me. Nowadays, I barely notice when they leave, let alone grieve. 5 stages of grief. 6 is the stage, because stage by stage, the pain, it waned. I built my name and became a stubborn performer. I will not entertain being trapped in verses, serving sentences in vain. Conversations with a ghost, pages empty and gone till they become my pen's horn. No ghostwriter needed. You didn't win the game, you cheated. A puzzle missing pieces, not needed to complete me. However you perceive or receive me, deceive me, I'm gone, believe me, leave me. There's nothing new, grief conceive me. I'll ghost you. Some of you know what's coming. I'll ghost you. No trace, I exist like a ghost poo. That's some spooky shit. In the process of healing, be used to solitude, push people away because I was left alone. So a long time ago, accepted I'm better off alone. And they're better off without me. So don't whisper or shout me. Anyone who doubts me, talk shit about me. My vocals live forever, even when I let them breathe. There's poetry in the silent parts. Before I depart, impart some wisdom I'll impart. The florist has told me, let the past rest. It's lived enough. That's mentorship. In this I trust. Forget lights, camera, action. Most industries are fast, removing the soul from our body of art. If we're talking about the present, by the end of this bar, it's already the past. I see no competition because only I can be myself, and myself I surpassed. Every word I wrote removed a lump from my throat. So paraphrase my paragraphs. Out of context, take a quote. But please take note, the old me's dead, and you're conversating with a ghost. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
So, on deck we have Cobby, but coming to the stage first in round 2 is Melody Marsh. Make them feel welcome.
I'm sick of survival, of trying to not only survive all, but thrive in all of this jungle that we call home. This city will strip you bare and turn you to stone, just like the concrete walls we live in, but we don't own. Where's Baloo when you need him? I escaped the trauma of my own home by diving into books when I felt alone. Now the struggle hasn't stopped, but my tools have grown. I need more in my box now that I'm an adult. I've got more on my mind, though still living at home. How do you change a mindset that's gone on so long? I'm grateful for the roof Mum cemented for us, but I still need to plaster cracks in the ceiling trust. Getting told to think in abundance when what I know is lust. Lusting for a different life, man, success is a must. We had bailiffs knocking on our door for debt some days, but we still laughed in hope of getting rich some way. I know there's many ways to be rich, but what do I have to fix until I no longer go broke? I think when you've been raised in struggle, your fight becomes harder, but your faith, it doubles. I've found a whole new faith in God, and she's showing me my troubles can be changed through love.
Give some noise one more time for Melody. On deck is Tiffany, but coming back to the stage, make some noise for Cobby.
Hello? Yo. Boom! My door just got licked off. My unwanted guest is home. Loneliness seems to strike at a time I'm not physically alone, you see. Friends and family stay screaming, K, just call my phone, but when push comes to shove, they blank stare, replying all monotone, and now I wished I never opened my mouth to say these words because they wash over deaf ears. Again, and again, and again, I'm unheard. I've been unheard so much I'm unhurt when people don't offer the courtesy I offered first, so I rarely let my mask slip. I just joke and work to mask it then. Dum da da dum, that's the beat of my own drum that I march to. It's nuts when you act smooth on socials to then suffer in solitude, but you got a rep to uphold. You can't show them that it bothers you, and so the cycle repeats. And I spiral down, it's like I can come out my body and see the hurt compound, and there's nothing I can do to stop it because loneliness is a thief in the night that comes to rob my peace, rob my sanity. So naturally, he makes house and home in my reality and casually eats the fruits of the spirit I plan to eat, then he laughs. When those that love me become casualties, because when they serve the banquet of their love, I say, that's a meal I can't afford to eat. So I hurt them. I hurt me. I'm afraid I'm never worthy of the embrace of my brethrens. That's why I spend so much time introspecting in my faint recollections. I ask myself, how can I be my worst enemy and my best friend? I'm a soul with boundless possibility, but so enveloped in fragility. My potential really sings to me, but in my actions there's asymmetry. My actions are a mystery because I tiptoe between brazen cockiness and then a lack of confidence. My avarice fills the gap in between with such a dichotomy. Is there something wrong with me? Because I flirt with femininity and then toxic masculinity. I want to embrace the former, but the latter has a thing for me because half my life is imagery. Listen to my feminine soliloquy. My demeanor emanates the thickest skin, but I'm numb. I'm hurt. I'm lost within. And what they say makes my thick skin thin, so I stand tall as the words shape my soul and I spit out the bit of vitriol. But after their worst sting and scold, after loneliness breaks in my home, how can I ever love myself? I don't know. Thank you.
Make some noise one more time for Kobe. On deck is Mathago, but please welcome back to the stage, Tiffany.
My father isn't an exterminator. At least that's what my eyes say to me, but you see, when you work with Babylonians, a lot of secrets turn into the toxins you breathe, and just like exterminators, death soon becomes a convenient toxin to fill up the streams, you see. Before the mists of patriotism fell upon my family, my father used to be the lever we'd pull to lava all my family's pressures until the day I noticed his eyes blinking heavier. Post-workout rituals no longer served to strengthen. Instead, the beds of his eyes comforted him red, transparently opaque in what looked like anger or fatigue. And I really thought maybe this was the poison finally wanting to expose itself to me. A painless vision began to invade his prism, and I guess you could say it was all a matter of time before white matters became all that mattered to his day, and now they are kind of consistently to me, too. I was baptized. Tiffany Karina Marta Sahle. Karina being the second portion of my name and the representation of my father's first name, Kareem, meaning generous and honorable. And so in true fashion, I began my generosity by sucking his poison until it began to spin in me. I bit so hard into his veins, he had to tattoo my face just to cover up the pain, but it wasn't enough to break him free, though. And I thought being born would have been enough. I thought being the representation of him, a reflection of him would have been enough, but it just wasn't enough, though. And I let my eyes blur just like his. I really thought that would have been enough, but I just could never be this machine. He was just nothing like me. My father is able to colonialize lies, hide secrets in lagoons and deserted streets to later come back to phone me and sigh in relief. To be in a bed where sheets can cover him like his mother could. My father's legacy falls on the hummingbirds to his daylight. The dream catches to his archy, my brother, the dreams, and me, the catcher, with pockets big enough to capture his pain, his trauma, his disappointment, his stress, because that's just what I was conditioned to be. No wonder this poison still runs through me, and then they wonder why I don't give blood. So many toxins, it's hard for my liver to function how it should be. And I became so engrossed in what stained my father's pain that I didn't realize how soiled I became, but the blood just kept streaming and I just couldn't stop it. And so today, I pray that he never doubts that even if I leave the nest to detoxify my blood in faraway banks, that he always remembers that we'll always make time to come back to suck any leakage that he may have left before white matters can ever take care of the rest. Thank you.
Wow. Make some noise one more time for Tiffany. So on deck is Takunda, but coming back to the stage, please welcome Mathago.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Oh, Daddy, fuck me till it's holy. Till heaven's just a bathroom stool, how could we not know that we were dirty? Hands and knees on the linoleum, begging still for more. Oh, Father, fuck me filthy on the filthy fucking floor. Sanctify this hallowed ground. Kingdom of every hollow faggot schoolboy who wears their wrongness as a crown. Consecrated cum stains still ringing with the sounds of our stolen heresies, hymns and moans and howls. I'm devout, I swear, or I renounce religion, and every whispered pillow prayer that crosses these lips goes unforgiven. If our worship is a sacrilege, then who would ever want a heaven where to offer yourself in sacrifices less than the holiest of blessings? And since when is it a sin to beg, to pout, to ask questions? Sick of all the rules, the learned self-repression. Sick of being good, nice, clean, sick of learning lessons. So skip class, find our own answers, our own methods, our own grasping, greedy hands, asking, reaching, guessing, fingers fumbling in the dark for our own explanations, our own vivid histories, the hands of our makers. Fuck me in the hallways, in the library, on the quad, on the altar, in the chapel, still covered in the mud. This body is my body, this blood is my blood. Schoolboy become blasphemer, become Baal, Beelzebub, dove, olive branch, olive swallowed whole after the flood. Oh, Father, thy kingdom come, my love. Thy will, my will obedient, the sweetest choir boy you fucked, tempted into sin so easily, serpent, apple, lust, fanatical or feverish, a faggot, monstrous, unloved, on earth as it is in heaven, fucked below as we are above. So give us this day our daily threats. I can't count how many times I've been cursed at. I can see how it'd be easy to lose track of prayers. I still think I'm sick of your absence, and I don't owe you my forgiveness. You owe me more than all this silence. An apology, a face to punch, a day without reminders of every time I've been spat on or stared at, bled or been beaten or blacked out, every trespass, every fist, every fuck-up, scared of the skies, the storms. We learned how to worship petty gods. They've never deserved it, content to let it all burn as long as their dicks wet, as long as their food's cooked, their house kept, while in God's house we wept. Skin, stained glass beneath stained vests. Out of sight, lest we forget. We swallowed silence, held our breath. We know we deserve what we get, and oh, God is gracious, hands sticky wet. We beg forgiveness for what comes next. He knows we know, he knows what we need best, so deliver us from evil. One hand around the neck and lead us not into temptation, only shame and regret. And there is no power here, no glory, only a fear of death, not a fear of dying. Just of what comes next, somehow as terrified of heaven as I am of all of this. And there is no peace in the promise of the afterlife that they swear exists. For the same butcher's eyes and chainsaw smiles and knife-like lips. It would be torture, not rapture, to be on my back before booted feet beneath fingernails, bare-knuckled fists, all the angels and saints and God himself are murderers complicit. Did I pray for this? An eternity, burning up, being told this is bliss. Tranny, faggot, sissy, bent again, back on my knees in piss. Heaven is a boys' club, full of rapists. I never asked for it.
Give it up one more time for Mathago. So Arcadia is on deck, but coming back to the stage now, please welcome Takunda.
Ndisati ndatombozvarwa panga patoiswa ropa nesimba kumashure kwezvese zvinondifambisa saka mungatisei kuti vanhu vedu havasi zvese zvinoshamisa. Birthed from the village of Shurugwi, my people would tell stories of Ngozi, the avenging people, cloaked from crown to soul in the skins of past wildlife, faces dusted white in upu, teeth, bones, feathers and fibers bejeweled around their necks like medallions. You could never quite tell if they were more muti or munu, more foliage or figure Ngozi. Spoke in whispers to the forebearers who told them how to heal the land and how to bring healing unto the people. The best translation given in a tongue that is not my own is Ngozi, meaning wizard, or Ngozi, meaning witch doctor. Do you see it? How imperial tongues spit and spin the possibility of Africans being able to bring healing unto ourselves into a feat of mythology. Do you see it? God forbid the Africans do anything for themselves, so where are our white saviors? Our developmental deities, our diasporic children who were taught to go learn Western values so they can come back and rescue their homelands. Do you see it? How assimilation has become a tool for white preservation. We don't believe in Ngozi anymore. We believe in Cape to Cairo, the UN and UNICEF, civilizing and modernizing sub-Saharan borders stay bursting and burning, but the arsonists are here to put out the fire, firing their cannons through their world vision lens, poised and grinning, with children turning carcass draped over their shoulders, dissociated from the colored bodies that add depth to the photo in this industrial toxic tourist machine. But fumes are no reason to close your eyes, so stay smiling. Dissolving corneas almost look like crying, almost look like empathy. Chokwadi vakatorinka dzedu ndimakazvitanga asi kana tise tavigwa tichatarisa kudenga tichauchidzwa kuti sezuva Africa icharamba ichisimuka. Do you hear it? How the allies remain shouting, but the Ngozi have always been whispering. And I believe this to be the tune we've become tone deaf to. We don't believe in Ngozi anymore. But remember, you can never quite tell if they are more muti or moon, more foliage or figure. So look around, because Ngozi have always been standing right behind you.
Give it up one more time, please. Wow. Okay, so you ready for our final round 2 slammer? Make some noise for Arcadia coming back to the stage.
I live in spirit. Until I churn the earthy learning to search me, turning my nervy wording unworthy when gurney and flirty, but a romanticist inside. Now I'm a fantasist that doesn't hide. I'm fear-free of the nearly dreary, but never weary of the eerie, beardy smear, steamed, lost, wandering warrior, forgotten foraging forager, probably borrowing a copy of a hip-hop discography so I can obviously learn to rhyme like this in a time like this when my mind might miss an opportunity to form a community. I'm soon to be a suitably, beautifully intuitive person. I learned from the mistakes buried at my future grave. So I make this anxiety, make what's inside of me. I shake up the fight of me and take what I like to see, display what I like to be, a slice of incredible history right now. I just thought I'd tell you all before you find out. I've been writing for a decade straight because in space, time slows down. Poetry is the break I take for when the day gets too human for me. Sometimes I wonder if this life was even meant for me, like it's right or die until a beam of light comes and sends for me. I love my passion, but how can 2 pieces of peace be at war? I definitely wasn't shopping when I found out what was in store. I was in for a bit more than seeing myself on the floor. I wasn't sure that I knew what my voice was. It was almost like I lost my voice box, trying to pat it down with a moist cloth like a moist cop. But police don't reign around here. This wage is bound to pound fear, so I blame the mountain that don't ever rest. If there's an entry fee to heaven, then words are my currency. I just hope I got some letters left. I just want to defend my pen to the end I fend, with the rent I spend, my time working out the cycle of life and whether I should back up when my time's rough. If I cut with my eyes shut, this poem was to let you know that my time's up, but I ain't going without something to leave behind. A portion of my time displayed with these words. If I swerve a mean verse, I won't need a free hearse to drive me to death. So I accept the quest I met with this text. If I bet with this thread, then I'm a spaceman with a star on my back, a member of the poetry gym, because I got bars on my back. No wonder everyone's pissed off. We're getting ripped off by the big boss, which is why this ink's off to the races. I do not want to be giving my taxes to racists, paying for the same space that we're already raised in, while space it's up there without any say or complaining. It's crazy amazing. I see everything as a life lesson. Therefore, life is a blessing. If we can work our way around the stressing and the feds guessing their way into people's pockets, then we can probably abolish what they're committing in office. Now, I'm not usually about political topics or the latest hot gossip, but I've got no idea what I'm going to be spitting about in a year's time. All I know is this year's mine. Because I'm a serial killer of trauma. I eat that shit for breakfast. Now, is that my intuition, or am I just hungry and restless? I don't save breath just to say that I'm breathless. I got poems coming out of every orifice, and none of them are shit when you live on planet Arcadia. Thank you.
Insane. Make some noise one more time for Arcadia and all of our round two poets. Wow. So, are you ready for our headline act of our final Mind Over Slammer Heat? I took the liberty of writing a little intro for him. So, our headline act for tonight is an incredibly versatile artist. He's known for his exceptional poetry, engaging hosting skills, powerful public speaking. He's also a talented voiceover artist, a workshop facilitator with a reputation for dad jokes and unforgettable dance moves. With a talent for weaving thought-provoking themes into his work, he's gained recognition from top media outlets such as The Guardian, Huffington Post for his pieces Fatherless Britain and Our Iconic Land. His infectious personality shines through his work, which fuses together clever storytelling and impeccable wordplay. He is a celebrated TEDx speaker. And you may not know this about him, but his talk, If the Youth Ruled the World, not only showcases his ability to blend poetry and public speaking, but it's accumulated over 2.5 million views. I know. A true master of his craft. A pleasure to know and work with. Please welcome to this stage my brother, Samuel King.
Wagwan London, how's everyone doing? Is everyone good? Okay, so I've got a set for you guys. Finally, I thought about something before I'm going to perform. So we're just going to get straight into it. I'm so overthinking. Like, I'm so overthinking. Like, I get everyone overthink sometimes. But for me, it's like this condition is chronic. I start thinking up a plan, and before you know it, I'm thinking again, and I'm rationalizing my own logic. I've clocked it. It's not that thinking is bad. It just gets long when you're thinking, and you can't even stop it. It's like I can't get overthinking. Thoughts cloud the forefront of my mind. My inner eye takes the back seat so I can drive myself crazy. Comes like I'm chauffeur driven. I'll be on the phone, then I zone and focus on my solo mission. At times, my mind and my body are at pole positions. Sometimes I start conversations with myself and I won't even listen. It's like the circuit board is overridden. Lost and trapped within my mind map, I find that thoughts overlap and I relapse when I'm sidetracked. All the imagined possibilities are at play. All the assumptions, presumptions, judgment, trying to find contemplation, trying to find understanding. My mind's like a roller coaster, constantly spiraling. I know my energy's electric as I analyze. Thoughts turn to questions like, what's what, who am I, start to scrutinize. How do you choose to live when it's do or die? You try, give from source, but you're losing supply. The ego shifting's up a gear, the fear transmutes into action as you choose to survive. It's suicide. In this concrete jungle, if you choose to bear your cross, you're certainly due to get crucified. Yeah, I know these thoughts are useless unless I use this knowledge to move and apply. Nah, for real. I need to get my head down and focus. I'll be in a situation where I'll be in my head thinking, right? Till I get left out the moment. I am not my thoughts. I am me. And energy flows where your attention goes, so sometimes it's time to regroup. My brain sometimes comes like alphabet soup. I mean, it's good to have a plan B. My thoughts are so vivid, I can close my eyes and still see. Delving deeply into the domain of my dome, frequently figuring out fractions, fiction, fact or fiction, feel and follow what I find. Whoa. My brain's on go, go, go. Grossly grafting through the gallows as thoughts gradually gather and grow in my mind. You'll find when you've got a plan for every letter in the alphabet, you get ahead of yourself and you start to trip and miss out the steps as we grow through life and death. Deep introspection puts us in a state where we start to seek perfection. We feel depression as the pressure presses against our solar plexus. Bun overthinking. I choose to atone and listen. Get out of my own way and make space for life to flow from within me. I won't get caught up in a zone where I'm holding a position. I'll trust in my notion to be intentionally and use this energy in motion to find the parts hidden in the depths of the ocean of my mind. So instead of overthinking, this king will move with power because I know that each step is always guided by the light. Okay, cool. So on to the next one. That was the first piece about overthinking. Obviously, mind over matter, mental health related. Overthinking is a chronic condition I have. But we're working past it, we're working through it. So we move on to the next one. So my next piece is more so a bit more of my style, a bit more of my preference in terms of how I enjoy performing poetry, especially at a slam poetry event. And this piece is titled Fruits from the Poetry. I'm actually quite warm, so I'm going to take this off. My friend once said to me, if life gives you lemons, make guava juice and make them wonder how the heck you did it. At first, what I thought they meant was wing it. But after some thought, I guess what I think she really meant was don't be a victim to whatever it is you perceive as a limit. Be creative and bend the laws of physics and amaze the world with whatever it is you've produced once you've finished. I mean, I like the idea of fruit, so in that spirit, since I'm a wordsmith, I thought I'd spin it. Now, there's no way for you to get to know me without my roots. And they say you can always tell a poet tree from its fruits. So here's my truth. Sometimes listening to poetry could be like eating food through a straw. Very difficult to get it all in one. Some even find it quite melancholy. But for me, I find writing and performing my poetry a ball of fun, especially when done in jest. And I, for one, am certainly grateful for this opportunity to display my zest and parade my best foot forward now that I guess the time's ripe. And now you can all see how sweet the English language could be now that a poet has stepped into the limelight. Now, it's pretty cut and dried that poetry is the apple of my eye, and that's probably why I've been on this rant, and I hope you can see why I've had to cherry pick and marry these words together, because they cantaloupe. This is not just art. Honey, do you see, this is my calling. They say you have to practice what you preach, so I see poetry in all things. Now, I'll tell you what my Granny Smith thinks, but her choice of language is rather appalling. Spoken word. We all do it, regardless of the way we use it. But words are an expression of my soul, and you can take that as you wish if the shoe fits. Mum uses amusing. When I'm in tune, these words come sweet like music. If I concentrate, I could squeeze creative juices. And if done right, I'll mix these words and rhymes and they go down a smoothie. You see, my art is far from fruitless, it would appear. Spoken word. We cover all topics, raising awareness on current affairs. These words aren't just plucked out of thin air, I'm sure you would appreciate. Although they've got old-fashioned roots, spoken word is cool, and that's true to this date. In times of need, poetry's like a friend to me. Some do it for the art, others do it for the laughs, but for me, poetry is like therapy. I love it. I just hope one day it will take me far, though. It's just so versatile and creative. It can drive you crazy even if you don't have a car, though. It just gives me this tingly feeling from my head right down to my toes. Tomatoes. I mean, it's quite ironic how I'm a poet, but I can't find the words to describe this feeling. There's just something about watching crowds go bananas because they find my wordplay appealing. Hopefully the fact that I've done this poem in fruitful fashion is proof as to why you guys can see why spoken word is my chosen passion. Fruit. And I hope, like me, after hearing some poetry, it's made you feel some type of way. And if it hasn't, well, at least with me, you can say you have had one of your 5 a day. For some reason, yeah, I think it's because it's a slam. I don't know why I'm trying to be bare serious. There's been bare jokes I've been wanting to run here, and I'm just like, no, not this one. Get through the piece. Be professional. And I'm like, itching. But we're going to move on to the next piece because of time. So this next piece that I'm going to perform is... I'm just going to do it. I'm not even going to talk too much. I'm just going to get straight into the piece. So this piece is titled Alphabet Advice. Yeah, alphabet advice. Appreciate all that comes and goes, as everything is connected anyway. Always, all things align according to ancient astrological agendas approved on the account of the Almighty. So anticipate abundance. Affirm who you are. Apply all knowledge you've acquired and alchemize all that you aim to achieve. Be brave about the human being you are becoming. Believe in your ability to change your reality. Be kind, because you don't know what battles people face in their minds. Change starts from within. Celebrate every win. Crash at the core of your calamity. Channel and conduct your chi through your chakras. Capture and cherish each moment. Counsel confining cycles. Challenge any coaching that complements your comfort. Change your chemical makeup. The pressure from depression develops diamonds. Don't doubt or diminish your demeanor. Dip into the divine that dwells deep down, determined to detail your destiny. Dare to be deserving. Do what you gotta do. Defiantly we stand, devoted to destroying the disease, dedicated to dismantle darker dudes. Decolonize the decadent diaspora, dwelling doubtfully on dwindling dreams of delight. Disregard deliberate displays of deceit and discover the divine detail in the domino effect. Expect empirical elevation. Everything is everything. Everything is energy. Eradicate envy. Eliminate the ego. Empower everyone you encounter to embark on a journey to enlightenment. Exploring etymology is exciting. Real life. Exploring etymology is exciting. Exercise expressing emotion. Either that or eventually you'll explode. Exhibit empathy. Effortlessly evolve every day. Exercise frequently, even if it's patience. And embrace failure. Focus on forgiveness, but don't forget as friction fuels force. Where's the cameras? Fuck the feds. And fuck fake friends. Furthermore, fighting is futile. Focus forward, your final form isn't far. Fast frequently. Fishing for fame is fickle. It's all a facade. Filter the fallacy of fear from the fuse at the forefront of your floppy disk. The Fibonacci is at your fingertips. Ghost the greedy goblins guised as government. Gradual growth is a graceful game. Get rid of your generational garbage and gain glory as God guides you to greatness. Ground yourself in gratitude. Harness healthy habits. Honesty is holy. Heal the hurt hidden in your history. Hold out a helping hand. Have hope for humankind. Honor the Hermetica. Hereby your heart at the height of its happiness. Implement your intuition intentionally to invoke I and I that it is. Implement your intuition intentionally to invoke I and I. It's irreplaceable, inexplicable, and inexplicably intricate. Inspire individuals to incite inner works. Ignore the institutionalized who insist on impressing the inconsiderate. Influence infants to idealize their imagination. Instigate improvement. Inhale. Introduce your identity. I am blessed. I am divinely guided. I am rich in health and wealth. I am enough. I am consciously connected to the source of life. I hold the keys to my success within. I am Samuel King. Jam with people that make your journey sweet. Jest and jive at jealous jerks. Don't jinx the joyous. Judgment is never justifiable, but always jump for justice, even if it's jarring. Just look for the jewels jumbled up in the jazz. Juggle the good and the bad and accept life as it just is. Karma is key. Keep your energy kinetic and your spirit kindred. Kindness kills the knuckleheads. Kill karmic connections. Keep your kin close. Listen and silence are the same when the letters are rearranged. Learn to love limitlessly. Laugh loads. Live life like you're liberated and level up, literally. Let your light lead you and you will never be lost. Look for the lesson in every little life experience and you will never take a loss. The law of attraction links you to the livelihood you've been longing for. Misled. Many stay mesmerized by meaningless merits like money. Many are manipulated by the mirage of mainstream media. Misinformed. It's mind over matter. Until you lot change your name, you know what I'm saying? But it's calm. It's still mind over matter, though. It's still mind over matter. It's mind over matter. Mend your mental muscle memory. Music is medicinal. Make time for meaningful meditation. Manifest meticulously and motivate the masses as they marvel at your mastermind. Monitor your network because it's your net worth. Your connections will carry your name into rooms and spaces you wouldn't even imagine. Nevertheless, nerves are normal. Nagging is not necessary. Nagging is not necessary. Notice that nature is nourishing. Operate with an open mind. Offer oneself up to opportunities and be optimistic about the outcome. Prioritize your personal peace. Pick positivity. Practice your passion persistently. Push past the pain. Pave a purposeful path and proceed with the potent power you possess, which permits progress. Perfection is a phony phenomenon. It's just a perspective we place on a polished pedestal. Wanna pickpocket my punchlines? Well, get in queue. Quickly quash all qualms questioning the qualification of your quill. There is quintessential quality and quantity in my quirk. Reflect regularly. Relax. Realize and reshape your reality. Remain realistic. Release your rigid rights to romanticize religion. It's not about who's right. It's who's righteous. Royal, recognize royal. Retain receptive relationships. Separate your sacred soul from the seduction of Satan and sanctify your space. Sex is sacred. Stand on being selective with your selflessness and stay spiritual. Seek no security in a savior. The secrets are sealed within yourself. Sit in silence. Surrender your supposed status or success and study your situation. Stop struggling. Sculpt your shadow self until you are satisfied and the stress will simply slip away. We're nearly there. We're at T. Time tells the tales of your troubling thoughts trapped in your temporal lobe. Tame the trickster. Terminate your toxic traits. Transcend the things that torment and tether you to your trauma. Trust your tribe. Treasure those that test your technique and therefore train you to transform. Tap in. Take time to travel to tropical territories. Real life. Take time to travel to tropical territories. Time takes time. Understand you are united with your universe. Utilize your unique usefulness, uplifting others under you. Unpack your unhappiness until you unmask what's under your ugly umbrella. Use your voice in power. Vent if you must. Vilify the villains who violate the voiceless. Don't be a victim. Visualize yourself on vacation and then go there. Veer away from your vices and value your virtues because it's vital. Worrying is a waste of energy. What's the worst when you weave wisdom into your works? It's not about when, where, or who. Find your why and let your will spread like wildfire. Wander the weird and wild world within your mind and word to the wise. Word to the wise. It's the wise. Don't blame me, boy. It's the wise man said it. Wanking is a waste of time. Word to the wise. It's not me. I had to make an exception for the next one, as this one marks the spot. X is the cross. X is the sign shown when your boundary shouldn't get crossed. The female principle exposed in the XX chromosome. X represents the unknown, unidentified. In algebra and tech, it also represents mystery and a hazard. 2 crossed bones and a skull means death. Yet, it also represents life's extremities. We all grown, so we know what XXX means. Be like the X, licentious in nature and beyond whatever the world expects. Why? Because you are your universe. You deserve the world. Yield your youthful yesteryears. Yearn for yin and yang, but don't yo-yo. Yell for Yahweh. That currency is worth more than yen. Life ain't black and white like a zebra. Things aren't always what they seem. Zone in on your zen and get deeper into REM and regularly make sure you catch those Z's. Alphabet advice. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been my set for Mind Over Slammer. It's been First and foremost, a big thank you to Mind of a Slammer and Fisky for having me headline the London Heat for Mind of a Slammer. Make some noise for Fisky and Mind of a Slammer. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Thank you guys for your energy. Thank you guys for taking me in. Thank you guys for listening. I have been Samuel King, and you can find me on all socials at I am Samuel King. Connect with me. Let's chat. Let's work. This year, there's loads of stuff happening. There's loads and loads and loads and loads of stuff happening. So let's connect and make genuine connections. Let's not just do this, oh yeah, let's follow each other on Instagram, and we don't talk for months. Like, let's actually connect and make things happen. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Peace!
What Samuel King failed to say as well was that he has a ridiculously good website, iamsamuelking.com. I don't know why he didn't plug that. Please, make some noise for Samuel King one more time. We're going to take a very short break, and then we'll be back to announce our finalists. You've got 5 minutes. Okay, so are you ready to find out who your 3 finalists are? It was so close, it's ridiculous. But we have them here. Please give me a drum roll. Your Mind Over Slammer London finalists are, in no particular order, Mathago, Takunda, and Kobe. Please make your way backstage. You will perform in that order, so it will be Mathago, Takunda, then Kobe. Please make some noise for our final 3 slammers. Hopefully they are ready. Our first finalist coming back to the stage is Mathago. Make some noise.
I have sat for countless hours in soulless waiting rooms, hating every second spent dreading what comes next when I'm called and escorted to my doom, to be infantilized, dehumanized, rejected, dismissed, and disbelieved, to be told that I'm not qualified to say it hurts, to howl, to scream into the dead face across from me that I'm in pain, that I'm more scared of this than I've ever been, sick for over half my life, dying since 13. Tired of surviving, still fighting to be seen, still rarely taken seriously, still often met with disbelief. They are killing us intentionally. I'm done with gritted teeth. When the choices die or shout out terrified, you surprised, I'm here shaking like a leaf. I'm sick of this, lost in it, this grief an open wound. I've been sobbing, screaming, losing it, howling at the moon. Soaked, saturated, stained cherry red, plum wine, methylene blue. Hollowed out beside too many graves, too many friends taken too soon. So bring down all the houses, on all the empty rooms, done and gone and godless, souls now siblings once removed. This grief was born here, have you heard? They're selling sacrifice under red-tiled roofs. In every restful second, the collapse imminently looms. We sit expectantly, we know these houses' tombs. We sit so patiently, await impending dooms, in rows like cattle shackled in hospital waiting rooms, waiting for the surgeon, until the surgeon, the slaughter comes and we are flens, rendered consumed. There is no heaven through the double doors, and down the endless corridors, just restless beds and tests and tubes. Just primrose yellow walls and empty wards, and hell looks exactly like they do. Pricked and plucked and pushed and told there's nothing here for you. Writhing on the floor in pain, blocked the way, you know that's rude. How dare you collapse anywhere not completely out of view? How dare you ask for any help? Free for everyone means not for you. Queer, crippled, crazy, less than human, less than the dirt upon their shoes. Infantilized, dehumanized, objectified, left to rot in waiting rooms. They are killing us with lack of care. They know exactly what they do. How dare you think Free for Everyone was ever going to include anyone who's anything like you? And does it hurt yet? Are you scared yet? Does it make you scream? Are you sick yet? Do you shake yet? Do you sweat? Do you tremble in your room, try to catch your breath? Are you anxious, lonely, terrified that you're dying slowly? Does your heart stutter in your chest? Do you panic daily? Are you angry yet? Do your lungs rasp? How much do you regret? How many times in the last week have you wept? And does it hurt yet? Are you scared yet? Does it make you mad? Are you sick yet? Does it make you sick yet? Does it make you sick? They are killing us with lack of care. They know exactly what they do. This is genocide. Will you cry out now or wait until you're sick, until they come for you? They are killing us intentionally. There's blood on the floor of every ward. This is genocide in plain sight, televised. It's a slaughterhouse through those double doors.
Give it up one more time for Mathago. And please welcome back to the stage, Takunda.
We are gathered here today to witness the joining of two lives, the unification of souls as they become one flesh, the extension of communion itself. So, with this diamond ring, do you take joy in how many Africans died mining your happily ever after? Our continent was a gold mine, a gorging belly. We lived swollen, throbbing at the diamond deposits in our arteries. The first step to siphoning a man from the body of water that is his land is to liquidate his assets and call it water bending. Claim all his wealth and name it a fortune telling, a foretelling of the fire and brimstone to rain down upon a continent of stolen gemstones. So many unnamed men sacrificed in the name of Michael Hill and Tiffany's. So is it wicked of me to call this wedding a funeral when there are vows being exchanged over our tombstones? Is it wicked of me to wear white to the wedding when the bride is not the only thing being surrendered? Is it wicked of me to catch the bouquet and refuse to be the next to marry? To bury bodies in an accessory? Is it wicked of me to hate how a diamond glistens, how it mimics ice, cold like the corpses that died to unearth them? Is it wicked of me to hate how a diamond bounces light as if there is a man trapped and shooting a flare gun from inside? But we are all too blinded by pretty things to speak of it. So no one speaks of it. And the bride and groom say, I do. And we all clap till our hands bleed raw, leaving us all red-handed.
Make some noise for Takunda. And please welcome back to the stage our final finalist for the night, Kobe.
Just get over it. It's easier said than done because it seems I can't escape your face no matter where I run, and I promise. Word to Drake, if I wrote my poems with a pen and pad, I wouldn't know how many pens and pads I'd have to run through to get over you. The pain from the hand cramps while writing will be like the agony I felt from fighting against your apathy. The paper cuts from turning the pages too fast will be the sharp indignation in my heart, cause girl, you treating me like a petrol station. You pulled up, drained me, and went on to your destination. The true pen caps on concentration will be like the effort I put in time and time again with no reciprocation, and the ink I would put on the page will be like the tears I couldn't cry because I couldn't express the pain I felt when you just didn't try. So all things considered, I take a deep breath while my heart dies 1,000 deaths, because loving you is forgiving you for what you will never apologize for. And even though it feels raw, I have to let it go. I realized when you hit me with the right person, wrong time, that was a lie, because the right person is there for you all the time. I just had your back in ways you didn't have mine. I will never know if you understand how your lack of effort pained my chest until I was breathless. I'll never know if you understand how you hurt me because I opened up and you deserted me. I'll never know if you understand how I felt or how I put myself through hell by loving you more than I love myself. I don't know. Perhaps I'll never know, so I misspoke. Loving yourself is letting go of what you can't know and can't control properly. This was merely a window into the soul of my love odyssey, so let me give you a clearer insight, because I wasn't always in the right. It's easy to write a heartbreak poem when you're the victim. I got a bag of them in my archive. I've been a victim so much that it's sickening. I've been a victim to the point where I said, breaking someone's heart is beneath me. I said, I'll never do anybody wrong. No matter how bad they treat me, I was so blinded by self-righteousness. God had an important lesson to teach me. I lost a girl I wouldn't trade for any lump sum. And I hurt her way more than my past did me, and that's how mad God's humour is, G, you see. When you say that mess could never be me, that's when God turns the table and makes you fully able to do what you didn't think you were capable. Staring at yourself in the mirror for hours, putting yourself through hell, but you can't ask for help because you're the perpetrator. You did this shit to yourself. Love makes the world go round, and that's just how it is, so your world shatters when the one you love the most say you don't deserve that shit for the dirt that you did. I wanted to give you the world. I just didn't have the world to give. And I was too weak and selfish to say it quick, and that's why love doesn't mean shit if you ain't got strength to go with it. Love is way more complex than I thought. To me, love ain't pretty flowers and poems no more, nah. To me, love is war. And that's why I'm scared to love anymore, but I do know the next time I fall, I'm gonna love way harder than I've loved before. And I can tell you that for sure. Thank you.
Please make some noise for our finalists. We are going to take a short musical break. You're talking 5 minutes, maybe less, while we add up those scores. Then we'll come back and let you know our winner. Back in 5. Okay, so thank you for bearing with us and for coming tonight. Before we announce the finalists, I just want to make sure that I get all the thank yous out because there's a lot of people that work hard to make this event happen. So, yeah, I just want to thank the team that have made it possible. Fisky, our lead organizer and the founder of Mind Over Matter. Bexy Bex. Anna Sinsky, our resident psychologist. Fury, our event videographer. Assistant videographer, Benga. Photographer, Adam. Snuff One for providing us with such an epic soundtrack for the evening. And last but not least, can we have some noise for Brixton Jam for providing the venue, please? I also want to extend thanks to all of our slammers tonight. Each and every one of you have been incredible. And of course, our headliner, Samuel King. Tickets for the grand finale will be released, you said Tuesday, Fisky, right? Okay, if everything goes to plan on Tuesday. But are you ready to find out who your first runner-up and winner are? Okay. So let's get a drum roll. Our runner-up, make some noise for Mathago! And in first place, and your winner of the London Heat, please make some noise for Takunda! An absolutely incredible level of poetry in this final. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the grand finale. You guys can have drinks, stay around, socialize, talk, get that QR code. But once again, please make some noise for our winners, Mathago and Takunda.